Hi, everybody. Welcome back to In the Cards and Stars. I'm your host, Britt Richard Mogensen, and tonight we are talking about some very interesting transits. This week is full of shakeups, planetary changes for the better. I'm very excited. We do have a live scheduled for the 24th where we're going to get a little bit more into it, and I hope you guys will join me and bring your birth charts, UIOB, you know what I mean? I will see you there. It's going to be a lot of fun. There are some new rumors floating around. We are going to look into a recent article that Dumois published about Brett Goldstein and Jennifer Lopez. It seems that things are heating up in a more concrete way. I want to look at their birth charts, and I also want to see what the potentialities are for them to actually become a couple, because J-Lo has been quoted saying that she does not like Virgos. How nice. The feeling is mutual. No, I'm kidding.
So Glee star Heather Morris, who was also a professional dancer, spilled some tea on J-Lo on Justin Martindale's Just Saying podcast. Check it out.
Okay. She walks in the room and she said, thank you so much. You guys have worked so hard. By a show of hands, if there are any Virgos in the room, can you just raise your hand? She looked at them and she said, thank you so much for coming.
Get out of here!
And Brett Goldstein has a Virgo moon. All right, so we're going to talk about that. It'll be interesting to look into the astrology. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Taurus season, well, by the time you guys are listening to this, I think it'll be over. Yeah, we are, well, depending on when I get it out, depending on how much editing I do, you may be listening to this in Gemini season, which starts this year on the 20th, which is tomorrow, because I'm recording this Monday night after driving back from Dallas. I have Taurus ruling my fourth house of home and family. And wouldn't you guys know that I ended Taurus season by going to my hometown, doing an in-person interview for my show that airs in Dallas on ABC, and seeing my brother and my family members and doing a whole fam bam thing and then driving back. We've all been in a little bit of a sleepier energy, regardless of which house is ruled by Taurus in our charts, but everything changes now. You guys, you know how it is. Everything's always changing. The planets just keep moving. Time doesn't stop. Even when we wish we could take a pause, it does not stop, which is why I'm recording this tonight, because I am like, let's just keep it going. We got to keep it moving. I'm telling you guys, I'm already feeling the Gemini energy, clearly. Gemini season is now coming on through, and it is going to give us that energy, that gift of gab, wherever you have Gemini ruling one of the houses in your birth chart. This is where you naturally are a little bit more active. You tend to have a lot of ideas about this part of your life. You probably have more than one hobby or more than one thing, because Gemini rules the twins. For me, with it ruling my fifth house of creativity and creative projects, of course, it's 100% true, because I have a podcast and I have a TV show. They're two completely different things. I focus on two completely different parts of my life, and I just don't think I could do one and not the other. So I've just come to accept that I will always be kind of on the go and overactive with tons of creative projects. I won't be happy otherwise. So I've learned to cope with that in one way or another. Sometimes it's staying up a little bit later to do a podcast, right? So check your birth chart. Where do you have Gemini? And do you notice that you are more active in this part of your life? Do you have more than one thing going on? Let's say the Gemini rules your fourth house of home. You may have a home that you live in that's like your day-to-day home, and maybe you have been left or inherited a beach house or something, so you have two homes. And that's just something that you've always done. I'm telling you guys, it is so bizarre. Please let me know again in the comments. Let's get the communication flowing, because 'tis the season. Gemini rules communication. So that's what we're focusing on now. We're going to get a little bit more active, a little bit more out and about in our communities with our friends. This is a great time to plan get-togethers with your friends, do more things. Taurus season can be a little bit more solitary. Taurus energy tends to be more focused on building parts of our lives, like I said, getting grounded, but also focusing on the long term. You know, for the past month, we've all been really focusing on this slow and steady wins the race energy. And it's so important, because if we don't have that foundation that Taurus gives us, regardless of the house it rules in your chart, if we don't have that foundation, if we don't slow down and pay attention to that house in our charts, we can feel ungrounded. Whether it's your fourth house of home or your seventh house of partnerships, the Taurus part of all of our birth charts, it gives us this grounded sense of stability that we need. So we've been doing that. We've been getting more stable. We've been focusing on that part of our lives. And now Gemini is blowing on through air sign energy to get things moving again. So we're going to feel a little bit more awake, maybe a little bit more antsy, active. You may find that all of a sudden your schedule starts to get a lot busier than it was last month. That's okay. Go with the flow. We are going to embrace this energy. And if you guys are Patreon subscribers, then I'm going to be doing a reading for you so that we can see how we can handle this energy, because this is going to be a very interesting season. You got to join me on the Patreon for that, though. Okay. A couple of other things to note that we want to be aware of. Saturn's entering Aries. Saturn is finally leaving Pisces. We have been talking about it on the channel so much because we are all so glad. Saturn doesn't feel great sometimes when it's in a water house, because water houses have to do with our emotions. So, this transit could have felt emotionally draining at times. And, this lasts for a few years. People like Justin Bieber, who is having his Saturn return, we may see that he starts to do a little bit better after the 24th. This is only going to last through September 1st. So we're just getting a little bit of a taste. But look at the Pisces ruled house in your birth chart. You're going to get some relief there. And you're going to start to learn new lessons and focus on new goals and develop a new level of discipline in the house ruled by Aries. What I like about this is that Saturn and Aries go really, really well together because, in my humble opinion, Aries is a go-getter, right? Aries is the warrior. Aries wants to get things done. Aries feels good when things are happening, ruled by Mars. Saturn is the coach of the zodiac. Saturn wants you to get things done. Saturn needs you to be disciplined, needs you to show up. What do you need to be disciplined? You need energy, right? You need to have energy. You need to have motivation. And you sometimes have to get outside of the box and be a trailblazer to really be that disciplined, people say best version of yourself, right? That's what Saturn wants for us. It's going to be as challenging as always. Saturn is challenging. We're going to have the challenges, but this time, and for the next few years here, we're all going to also have the motivation and the energy of Aries to meet the challenges. Whereas with Pisces, it could have felt a little bit more difficult. And, everything has its good and bad, though. On the bright side, when Saturn was transiting through Pisces, maybe we found that creative expression and spirituality helped us get through that and meet the challenges. But you just can't beat the Aries energy of fire sign, pure raw power. So that is what we are going to have. I think it's going to feel really nice for everybody. Like I said, I think we're going to have challenges, but I also think we are going to have the energy and the courage to meet those challenges, because that's what Aries likes to do. It's all about having the courage to, stand alone, to do the hard thing. I've been recommending this book a lot lately, but I want to go ahead and bring it up again. If you haven't read the book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. It's one of my favorite books, exposing my Aries North Node right now, but it's a great book. And if you feel like you need a little bit more motivation, or you feel like, with Saturn going into Aries, wherever this is in your birth chart, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel a little bit intimidated to get more courage in this part of my life, read the book. It will help you. It will motivate you. I always just refer back to it when I need it. And, not sponsored, but it's also included for free in Spotify Premium if you guys already subscribe to that. Moving on to our tea topic of the week. Him from Dumois, spicy office romance, spotted getting cozy after filming Wrapped. If Travis Kelce taught us anything about manifestation, Brett Goldstein solidified the notion you can speak your dream girl into existence. Never one to shy away from his love of Jennifer Lopez, Goldstein may finally have struck gold in a real-life romance with J-Lo. As mentioned in the May 15th Do You podcast episode and previous episodes, the Ted Lasso star, oh my God, my favorite show, has been infatuated with the multi-hyphenate beauty for quite some time. In fact, he quite literally crafted a character specifically in mind for her in the upcoming Netflix romantic comedy, Office Romance, per a Dumois fans account. All right, put a pin in that, you guys, because we're talking about J-Lo here. This is what she needs. And when we look at the astrology, guys, this is so crazy. It just might work. We'll see. The on-screen love interests have been filming for the past few months, and it sounds like they've taken their chemistry off camera. Island style. Ooh la la. A source revealed to Dumois that Lopez and the actor were spotted canoodling in Cayo Levantado in the Dominican Republic at their office romance wrap party. Their intimate celebration started with dinner together, then sitting at the bar canoodling, which led to jetting off to a private cabana to be alone. While JLo is back on the market again post Ben Affleck divorce, Goldstein has been single for a minute. His last notable relationship was with British comedian and actress Beth Rylance, which ended in 2022. Dumois has previously received photos of his Raya profile. Oh my God, you guys, I have to put this in. I'm going to edit this photo in. This is hilarious, and I am cringing. I'm cringing. Brett Goldstein, why are you doing this? I would have thought better of a Virgo moon, but okay. Sorry, I'm going to snark a little bit. Guys, and just buckle up. I'm going to go ahead and warn you right now with Aries moving into my third house of communication. I don't know. Y'all might see a different side of me. I'm still going to be the same me, but who knows? I'm going to be talking more probably. I don't know. I'm just going to warn you now. The tea might get spicier, okay? And hopefully you're along for that ride. All right. Dumois has previously received photos of his Raya profile, but something tells us he'd quickly delete his profile for Jenny from the block, though she may be in her rebound era. We'll pull some cards to see. Whatever the case may be, JLo deserves some fun in the sun. And as the summer season begins, we wonder if she will embrace a hot girl summer or fall for a certain bearded British man. Okay, so in his photo, that should be on screen right now, he looks nice. He looks kind. That's good. He's giving some soft energy around the eyes. Let's look at his birth chart. We have not really gotten into his energy, his birth chart, any of that. We've definitely talked about JLo, but Brett Goldstein, okay, one of my favorites, one of my favorite actors. We see that he is a Cancer sun. Okay, so this is kind, this is nurturing. That also explains kind of that softness in his face. He looks nurturing. Now, hilarious that he played such a hardcore, non-emotional character in Ted Lasso. Maybe his Virgo moon, but he has actually a very kind birth chart. I mean, which I think that's good. I don't think there can be two dominant energies in a relationship. I mean, of course there could be, but there just might be a lot of drama if so, right? I think that there can be one J-Lo energy in a relationship. Let me say that. There can't be two J-Los. I think with Ben Affleck, it was two divas trying to coexist. And that just never works. You need one diva and you need one person who loves to be the supportive rock, someone who feels good in that role. Otherwise, it's just going to be two people competing. And I think J-Lo has probably done that quite a few times with the people that she's picked. Um, okay. So he was born July 17th. Oh, here we go, guys. This is a little bit of a complication. Making him an 8 energy. All right. Now JLo's a 6 energy because she was born on the 24th. Little fun fact about 6s and 8s in numerology. 6s are strong, they are nurturing, but they are the type that wants to be in control. 6 energy is like, I will love you. I will nurture you. I will guide you. I will give you everything that I can possibly give you on a material level, on an emotional level, as long as, and then there's some qualifying thing, like as long as you listen to me, as long as you do XYZ, right? As long as you are loyal to me. Unfortunately, the dark side of 6 energy is if someone doesn't agree to those terms, or if something falls apart, they can change very quickly. Where they were once nurturing and this loving guiding force, they can become cold, distant, and even disappear from your life, which is interesting because a lot of people talked about J-Lo's relationship with Ben Affleck's kids and how she was so nurturing and so loving, that 6 energy. But when they got a divorce, she just didn't talk to them anymore. And it made them really sad, right? And so I hate to say it, but that is a typical 6 energy thing. Not all 6s, but it's a tendency that they have. And they do have certain stipulations. They like to be in control. It is a number that is a leadership number. Okay. And then with 8 energy, they also like to be in control, but it's through different mechanisms and it's with different motivations. So the 6 energy, like JLo wants to be in control through love and nurturing. 6 is ruled by Venus. So they use love to manipulate situations, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Whether that is nurturing someone and maybe, you know, being like, but Ben, we're such a great family and your kids love me and your kids love my kids. Like there can be a little bit of manipulation that way, or it can be through like love bombing someone or, and I think she has done that to people. I'm saying, and not that these other people are innocent, but she's definitely gone from like relationship to relationship and she goes all in. She's even said this about herself that she's a hopeless romantic. And that's very six energy. They use love and emotions sometimes, to manipulate and get what they want, allegedly. With eight energy, this is through power. This is control and success, not, tendencies to to have a little bit of a control thing, but it is success and leadership through money and power. Eight energy is about power. They are here to be powerful and to learn about making money and how to be a responsible steward of that financial wealth. And like, what do I do with this money? And like wanting to be the leader, the boss. It's very Capricorn. It's very Capricorn type of energy. Eight. Think about everything we know about Capricorns. You can pretty much transfer that onto the eight energy. It's very similar. Now, I think it's hilarious and it makes so much sense, numerology in the wild moment, that Brett Goldstein would have a huge crush on J-Lo that he's talked about for years. And then when he got into a position of power to where he was a writer on a show, he wrote a character specifically for J-Lo, using his power and influence to make something happen in love. They've got to be careful that they don't try to outmaneuver each other. I'm just saying, based on their numerology alone, he could try to pull some strings behind the scenes to get her where he wants her to be, whether it's through this character, through writing, through whatever. And depending on how this show does, he may get even more power. So we'll see. She has to be careful that she doesn't use the love and the attraction to manipulate him into getting what she wants from him. So this could become a disaster or it could just work. Let's check out the astrology now to kind of fill in the blanks. And of course, we'll pull a card or two. We have to. Okay. So he is a Cancer sun, meaning Jupiter is about to be conjunct his sun for a full year starting June 9th. He's going to have a glow up. Okay. I'm sorry. This show's going to be a success. I said, if the show's a success, when this show becomes a success. He also has Mercury in Cancer. So the way that he thinks and his communication. Wow. So his sun and Mercury are both going to be conjunct Jupiter starting June 9th for a full year. This year, he's going to be like, it's another Ted Lasso year. Maybe even Ted Lasso is going to be coming out at the end of this transit. I don't know when the new season's supposed to come out, but this is a great, great year for him. Whenever Jupiter is conjunct your natal planet, you see a huge boost there. And this being his sun, his ego, the spotlight, who he is, his sense of self, he's going to get even more like household name. For people who don't already know him, they're going to know him now. And then Mercury, like I said, his communication, so his writing will be applauded. This is going to be, I think it's going to be a great show. I think everybody's going to really love it. Okay, so fantastic. The sun, guys, it's also interesting to me that we got this report from Dumois like 2 days ago. And tomorrow, Gemini season begins because he has his Venus in Gemini. So we may see during Gemini season a lot more of these reports of Brett Goldstein and J-Lo because the sun is going to be lighting up his Venus energy of love and relationships. So I think it's no coincidence that this information is coming out now. I am thinking now that this is more real than PR just based on what we know about the transits that are upcoming. This is pretty good, you guys. Okay, now compatibility wise, I'm not sure, but I do think that this is legit just based on the astrology. Okay, another interesting thing to note, he has his North Node in Leo. Now, we know that JLo is the ultimate Leo. Well, wherever you have your North Node, that is who you are meant to become, right? This is like what we're striving for, what we want to embody. And so when you meet people with a lot of placements that are conjunct your North Node, so in the same sign as your North Node, you feel very drawn to those people, very inspired because those are the people that are kind of an example for you in this life. North node conjunctions are very, very energizing, inspiring. You learn something new from them. So whether or not this becomes a, long-term love relationship, I do think that it's extremely genuine. I am not surprised that he has been manifesting a relationship with her for a long time because with a Leo North node, and her being the ultimate Leo energy, she basically embodies everything that he wants to become. Now, this could get weird, right? Because I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But it's a good start. I will say it's a good start. A couple of other things that really stand out to me. The first one being his Virgo moon. So people with a Virgo moon, they are extremely giving and extremely nurturing and very, very stable and grounded. This could be the birth chart that works. This could work for her. Now, she's talked about not liking Virgos before or whatever, but I would challenge her to maybe, rethink that when it comes to a Virgo moon, because you really can't get more stable than a Virgo moon. And Virgos are very self sacrificing and very healing and nurturing. And they actually don't mind being in the passenger seat or in the background at times. Virgos actually, I mean, they love to do the work that others don't always, gravitate towards. Virgo is about details and healing and being loving and nurturing. And a Virgo can really set themselves aside, sometimes to their own detriment. So they got to be careful about this. But if anybody could have a little enough ego to deal with someone with as huge of an ego as Lo and be able to find and bring out the loving, nurturing side in her, it would be a Cancer Sun Virgo moon with a Leo North node who genuinely admires her. Okay, and his Venus is in Gemini. So hold on, let me check her Venus sign. Let's jump over to Lo's chart now. We got to see this. Where's her? Her Venus is in Gemini. Guys, is this the one we've been waiting for? Are we finally going to see Lo fall in actual love? And I'll tell you this, I do think love heals all wounds. And it's very possible that if Lo feels truly loved, I wonder if it could bring out a more loving side of herself. She has a Scorpio moon. Scorpio moons typically have been hurt either in this life or in a past life. So that is why they can be closed off, they can be sensitive, they can be vengeful, if they're unevolved. They can be suspicious, all those things that Scorpio energy gets a bad rap for. I wonder if her being with someone with a Virgo moon, because Virgo and Scorpio are very compatible, if that could finally give her the stability to actually trust and maybe bring down some of these over the top negative Leo antics and lean more into the positive side of Leo, which is really generous, think Empress, tarot card energy. I have a great feeling about this. Okay. So let's look at some other things going on with her. She has her Mercury in Leo. So the way that she thinks, her Mercury is also conjunct his North Node. So that's really great communication. And whenever one person's North Node is conjunct another person's planet, the energy goes both ways. So as much as he's going to be inspired by her, once she gets into a relationship with him or, a deep conversation with him with Mercury being in Leo, this is going to also spark ideas in her and push her forward and make her feel more confident about who she is. I really, really like this. I really, really like this. This is nice. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? I can't believe they both have Venus and Gemini. Guys, I have goosebumps. Can you see it? Goosebumps. I feel like those are the most notable. And what I like about this a lot is that it's his birth chart that is really attracted to her birth chart more so. And I think she needs that. I think she needs to feel like the star in the relationship. And I think that his birth chart is happy to play a supportive role to her star of the show. And it just might work. Oh my God. Okay, let's pull some cards and see if we can get a little bit more information about these two. Okay, allegedly for entertainment purposes only before I get started on this. All right. So let's see. Let me pull his energy. What is his energy in this connection? What energy is he showing up with currently? Ooh, the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Now, the Seven of Pentacles, this is about spirituality at work. In particular, because he has his North Node conjunct her Mercury and her Sun, this is all about using work to get into a spiritual connection. He is growing through being with her. through being around her, through the work that brought them together, that he happened to write with his 8 energy, he is opening up spiritually to this new level of who he is, and just in time, because with Jupiter transiting and with Jupiter transiting Cancer and lighting up his sun and like all of the good energy where he's going to have more of the spotlight with his sun and his Mercury and Cancer, this is like her helping him level up right before the spotlight is really going to shine on him more brightly than it has before. So this is really more about like career and spiritual growth. So that's the North Node energy. So I feel like he is inspired a lot by her. Now that's not super romantic. So let's see what else we get. How is JLo showing up in the connection? Allegedly, for entertainment purposes only. The 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so we're both getting money here. We're both getting finances, success, career. Makes sense. They do work together. With JLo, she's very excited because she is thinking that this connection is going to give her career a revival. She feels like him writing this part for her. I think she's very grateful. I think that she feels like this is reviving her career, which her career is very important to her, as we saw last year, with her documentaries. It's like she's not ready to retire. She doesn't want to. And she's very excited because she knows 10 of Pentacles fulfillment from this work. She knows that this is going to be a successful show. She's getting paid very well. I think that she's very happy career-wise. With both of them, though, we're getting career. We're not really getting a lot of love. So let's do past, present, future of the love story energy. Maybe they're just now dipping their toe in the water. So let's see. In the past, when they first met, what was the romantic energy, allegedly, between the two of them? What was that like? The Queen of Wands. Guys, stop. This is the Leo card. We all know. Oh my God, I can't take it. This is fire sign energy. This is associated with Leo energy, the solar plexus chakra. So crazy because, like I said, their connection is also really around Leo energy with his North Node there. He's meant to be a star. He's meant to learn how to be a star and embrace more of the spotlight. She already has embraced the spotlight and she wants to stay in the spotlight with that 10 of Pentacles motivating her. And also, we know that he has admired her from afar for a long time. So this is her being on a pedestal, Queen of Wands, her feeling like a queen. So from the very beginning, I think she felt very admired and that made her happy, really made her feel good, especially after that, divorce from Ben, when I think she felt probably pretty low, one of her lowest times. I think she was very disappointed by that. But this is like getting the wind back in your sails. So her getting back into that Queen of Wands energy from the start based on the energy she felt coming off of him, and also signifying that North Node and Leo connection, which is very, very positive for both people. Okay, this is meant to be, you guys, with the 7 of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands and the North Node involvement. Whatever happens, I think this connection, this encounter, this working relationship or whatever it may turn into was meant to be. People come into our lives for a reason and they always have some sort of gift for us, whether it's a lesson that feels a little bit harsh, but we learn something important, or it is through a gift or some other sort of, uplifting energy. Okay, so that was the past. What about the present moment? What about the present moment? We have the 3 of Wands, planning the future, looking to the future. Well, that article just said that they were at a party. I think that season has come to an end. Maybe they're thinking about, okay, where do we go from here? Are we going to spend more time together? Let's get another clarifier. Maybe they've realized that they want to continue to see each other, even though the show isn't filming. The Page of Cups, an emotional new beginning, a romantic new beginning. I think that with Gemini season starting tomorrow, you guys, this is signifying a new level of their connection, of their relationship. I don't know if they're going to come out with it right away, but Gemini season is when their love, their true like romance solidifies and will commence because they both have Venus and Gemini. Gemini season is an emotional new beginning for them. This is the prediction I'm making. And I truly think that this is what's happening for them. Maybe it was a little bit of Queen of Wands flirtation before, but now it is about the future. It is planning a new future together. It is Page of Cups, a new beginning during the season of their Venus signs. Like, come on. Wow. Wow. Even I am flabbergasted. I'm floored by this. Okay, and what about the future, the next 6 months? What do the next 6 months have in store for these two romantically? Ooh, this is like sticking out. Let's take it. The Moon card. Ooh, interesting. So it's looking mysterious. We don't quite know. Let's see. We do have that Gemini new moon, though, conjunct their Venus signs. And the moon, is that signifying something happening around there? Let's see. The Queen of Swords. Oh, okay. J-Lo, don't do it. J-Lo, don't do it. The Hanged Man. Okay. Well, in the future, I do think that there will be some emotions that they may need to sort through that are unclear right now. I don't even know if we can really get a read on it. Everybody has free will. This is like an ongoing developing kind of story, kind of connection. We have the Queen of Swords, JLo being protective of herself, of her heart. I do think that after everything she's been through, that makes sense that she might, even though she's really happy, she might be a little bit pulled back because she does tend to throw herself into things. And with her Mercury conjunct his North Node, the way that she's thinking, maybe she's going to have the supportive environment by being around him to learn how to draw some boundaries in a healthy way. Whereas in the past, she didn't. The Hanged Man, things are going to stall a little bit. They might be a little slowed down. That's not necessarily a bad thing because JLo is known for going a little bit too fast. And then the Moon, this is emotions. This is things being a little bit unclear. Let's get another clarifier. I don't know if they'll be in the public eye with the Moon card. This may be one relationship that she keeps a little bit hidden, which to me would also be healthy because it's the opposite of what she's done in the past. If the high priest is spirituality, yeah. Like this is like mysterious, this is spirituality. This is a soul connection for her. She might go like a layer deeper in this relationship, feeling more in touch with her soul. And again, with that North Node connection, that'll do it. And we have the King of Cups. In the next 6 months, this is in the future, he is going from, seeing her as this Queen of Wands and having this like fiery connection with her and really being kind of infatuated to King of Cups, which is emotionally mature and ready to make a commitment. This is love. This is love. This is him being in love. Woo. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. This will continue to develop and we will continue to keep an eye on things. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think about all the transits that are coming up? Are you excited about it? Are you ready for a little bit of a change? I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys on the 24th for that live stream where we can really dig into your birth charts. And let me know what you think about JLo and Brett Goldstein. Could this finally be the relationship that works? Okay, can't wait to hear. All right, you guys, I love you so much. If you guys want more, be sure that you subscribe to the Patreon so that you get extra tea every week. See you soon.